Dear champions, welcome to our top 5 best moves from the September Gold Cup finals. In 5th place we have a move taken from the game between Xevalu and Tonkill. It's still early in the game, but at turn 6, Xevalu already manages to bring Tonkill's Zardoz down to 5 health points and is being very careful to keep his Thralls of Hatred alive. We all know how well Stronghold can come back from situations like this, and Xevalu is not out of the woods yet and wants to be able to use the passive damage of his Thralls as much as possible. He plays a Hellfire Maniac on the 4th row that will force the 2 enemy creatures to attack and kill off his own 4th row creatures, activating the Thrall's passives and dealing 4 damage in one go. The game is basically over now for Tonkill, as he only has 1 health point left and there is a Week of the Dead coming through for Xevalu's next turn. Killing off your own creatures has never been this fun or this rewarding. For our 4th place, we have selected a play by A5 as he goes up against Cœur de Vandal in their first game. We are at turn 8 and A5 only has 3 health points left against Cœur de Vandal, and this is way too low when you're going up against Stronghold. He does have a Black Skull Clan Warlord on the board, and with a first Bloodsnake Shaman being played, he will be able to turn the tide of this game. A Shredder takes out Damran, and the Warlord takes out the Moon Phoenix. This boosts up the Bloodsnake Shaman twice and kills off the last opposing creature with his passive damage. With the board now clean, it won't be long before A5 can win the game, as in his next turn, all he will need to do is sacrifice a Crusher to be able to open up the 4th lane and deal the killing blow. Having been brought down to 3 health points, A5 shows us once again some great gameplay with a huge comeback. For our 3rd best move, we wanted to do 2 things. First of all, we wanted to congratulate Tonkill for his risky choice of playing a Masvar OTK to try and come back into the game, and secondly, we wanted to show you guys what happens when Masvar simply does not get the cards he needs. On turn 8, with 3 Scholars on the board and plenty of boosts all round, Tonkill does get quite a lot of damage dealt to Tragic Star and is close to winning with a Broken Bridge in his hand that would allow him to open up a lane and go for the victory. Tragic Star has got an Insect Swarm that would be great right now at killing off those low health creatures, but the Scholars have spell resist, so his plans are ruined. This is when the event cards come in handy, and the solution becomes obvious. The event card, A Tear in the Veil, will be just what he needs, allowing all the magic damage to go through unstopped. The Insect Swarm comes down and decimates Tonkill's creatures and his chances of winning. Just before we reveal our top pick, here is the 2nd best move in this first game from the grand final between Tragic Star and A5, and on turn 6, a great opportunity presents itself to Tragic Star. With a Hatching Breeder and a Chaos Lacerator on the top row, he will play a Bloodsnake Shaman. He then kills off the Maniac Taskmaster to start a very strong chain reaction. The death of the Taskmaster boosts up the Bloodsnake Shaman once, dealing 1 damage to the Lacerator and killing off the Breeder. This in turn deals a 2nd damage to the Lacerator and also kills off the token left by the Breeder. And finally, the death of the token boosts up the Shaman once more and deals the final damage to the Lacerator, killing it off. 1 single attack was needed here to open up the 1st and 2nd rows completely, and not only boost up the Bloodclaw Shamans very nicely, but also boost up the Bloodsnake Shaman to 7 damage output. This was a tremendous move by Tragic Star that went on to give him the victory in this opening duel. And finally, in 1st position, we find our 2 champions once more in their 3rd and last game of the night. With Tragic Star winning 2 games to none, A5 must find a way to take out his opponent. Tragic Star's cat is down to only 3 health points, so it looks like A5 may be on his way back up. But another great use of the Bloodsnake Shamans will win the day. On turn 14, Tragic Star will start by playing down a 2nd Bloodsnake Shaman, then will use 1, then 2 Shredders to open up the 4th lane, boosting up in the process both Shamans and dealing some first bits of damage to the 2 opposing creatures. He finishes off the Maniac Taskmaster on the 3rd lane, opening it up for a huge 10 damage from the Shaman, and finishes his turn after bringing down his opponent to just 1 health point. With the 2 Shredders on the enemy's side of the board, A5 will simply not have enough cards to block off his lanes and will fall in the next turn. And that's how, after some amazing gameplay by both our players, Tragic Star finally rose to the top and won this month's spot as our champion. Congratulations to Tragic Star and to all the other players who took part in this month's Road to Paris. We hope you have enjoyed this top 5 and see you very soon on the battleground.